Welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast, now part of the All City Network. Hit the subscribe button for YouTube and also become a DLLS diehard at www.alldlls.com. Now here's Jeff and John. Hey everybody, welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. This is episode number 36. Today, Josh Sneed is going to join us from the real funny comedian, a big Cincinnati Red fan, a big baseball fan, and avid baseball card collector and just all card collector. But Jeff and I have become friends with Josh. He's just got a new comedy special out. Did you watch it?
I did. I listened to it on my drive to Houston. So I haven't watched it, but I heard it from start to finish, and it is very, very funny.
It is funny. And I always compare, guys, if you are a Nate Bargatze fan, who I am, I'm a huge Nate Bargatze fan. Josh Sneed is like Nate Bargatze. This is a guy that you can watch his stuff in front of your children. You can cue it up on the TV, have the whole family, your parents, your in-laws. You can have everyone there, and nobody's going to go, what in the hell are you watching? What is this stuff? Because I find some comedians still hysterical who go dark blue and cuss all the time. If your stuff is funny, it's funny. So I don't mind it. I'm not offended if you cuss or do all of that. This is a guy that doesn't. His stories are relatable and a lot of fun, and he's fun to talk to and a big baseball guy.
100%. And the Reds are having a heck of a season. So I'm curious to see what he has to say about that.
Well, listen, we're going to get into the Rangers. Tell everybody where you are, because he is not in studio.
Yeah, I'm in Houston, my hotel room, and getting ready for the series, big series. We don't need to sugarcoat it. Yeah, it's definitely important. These guys need to have a good series this weekend. There's just no other way around it. They were. I don't know how to look at this Angels series. I mean, they basically blew two games. They could have swept the series. They didn't. I think they're a better team than the Angels. But I tell you what, they weren't they weren't Monday and Wednesday, and those are the mistakes that they keep making that they can't make. I think you saw the bullpen's fatigue factor come into play both nights. And then just some mental mistakes that this team doesn't do often, but because they play so many close games, you remember the times that they do, and you automatically go to that and you're like, this team can't play defense. This team can play defense.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on. It's just part of the whole maddening experience that Rangers fans have been dealing with all season.
Yeah, exactly. And look, hey, I tweeted it out last night. I'll say it again. If this offense is going to be the offense that we're going to see, that we have seen the last 3 or 4 games, if they're starting to come around, I mean, if the pitching can be basically what it is normally, and even close, they don't have to be even as good as they've been. This is a team that is very capable of getting on a streak and doing something because the offense certainly – I mean, look, this was not 2 guys on, hit a home run. These guys were 2 outs, moving players. Everybody was taking a turn. I mean, this has happened 2 or 3 nights in a row now.
Yeah, and really, if you want to go back to the beginning of the month, the Rangers are one of the best offensive teams in the American League. They are it's just look at the stats, and you're seeing great things from Seager and Simeon, and we know how important they are to this team. And Garcia is still, he's cooling off maybe a little bit, but he's still been much better than he was to start the year. And then on nights like Thursday night, last night, you see like Jonah Heim just, instead of trying to take a huge swing, just put the ball in play. It's just good to see that these guys maybe are realizing maybe we shouldn't try to hit home runs every time we're up there. Maybe
Yeah.
they're realizing that there are more ways to get around at home plate to make this to be a good offensive team. And so it's, hey, it's something to build on, I think. But then you gotta be able to beat good pitchers, and that's going to be the next thing for the Rangers to deal
Yeah.
with. They face a couple real good ones this weekend in Houston.
Yeah, and you can't be shut down. I mean, look, you've got to try to, and look, if he is getting you out, you've got to at least make him work where you can maybe get him out of the game early.
Sure.
Stuff like that, stuff that they haven't done. Those six pitch innings can't happen. You need to be up there trying to work on, and that's what they've done the last couple of games too. But this is a big series, and the pitching matchups this weekend are phenomenal. This is going to be a fun series.
Yeah, tonight it's Leiter against McCullers. Got to see if Jack can rebound, and then Saturday DeGrom against Framber Valdez, and then Evaldi against Hunter Brown. So you kind of look at the weekend ERAs; they're all under 3. Evaldi's down there under 2, and still can't get on the All-Star team somehow. But this is it should be a good weekend of baseball if you like pitching. Offenses are going to have to be opportunistic. When they get a mistake, they're going to have to hit it.
Yep.
And the Rangers have had some success in the past against Framber, and then other times they've just been completely shut down. You almost know who hit him last year. Yeah. And so Hunter Brown has really come on and been an incredibly pleasant development for the Astros.
Yeah.
So and they're a good team. I know they it's crazy.
I didn't think they would be this good.
They went to LA and swept the Dodgers, and they came home and got swept by the Guardians, who had lost 10 in a row. That's just the way baseball goes. And
without a doubt.
People don't like hearing that, maybe, but in a long season, crazy stuff happens. And
there are some Ranger fandom that think if the Rangers don't go undefeated from here on out, then the world is over and everyone should be fired. So that's the element, is they're not going to do that. What they've got to continue to do is win series. They can't lose a bunch of series. They split a series with the Angels, which they probably should have won. That's for sure. They got to go into Houston and get a couple games. I mean, that's just reality. If they can get a couple of games, it's all good. You'd love a sweep, but that's asking a lot. This is a good team that you're dealing with. More than anything, you got to win more than you lose going out. And then you got to quit looking at scoreboards right now. You just got to take care of what's in front of you.
Right. And, the Rangers are kind of at I don't want to say delicate, but they're at a very fragile part of their career because
put up or shut up. Yep.
Yeah, and they could very easily fall out of contention where Chris Young is like, sorry guys, we're good, or they could kind of stay where they're at now, keep playing tight games, showing some fight. Maybe win a few more than they lose, and he'll be convinced to buy. But I think with that third wild card spot, it's such a difference maker. And there's so many teams that believe they can make it. And the Rangers are 3.5 out of that last wild card spot. That's nothing. Now you need help because there are teams in front of you. But with in theory with DeGrom and Evaldi, you're not going to lose more than three games in a row. Maybe 4, but they could also help you springboard you to 4 or 5 wins in a row.
Sure.
And the break's going to be big for the bullpen to get some needed rest. Lots of reasons to be optimistic. Unfortunately, there are reasons to be pessimistic because, and we know it's true. There's been 90 games of evidence here that the Rangers are,
a roller coaster. You called it a roller coaster.
And it's tough, and I get it. And respect everybody being upset with the Rangers and can understand people who say this team's not going to make the playoffs. And it's hard to disagree. Right now, I don't know that this is a playoff team, but the damn season's so long, and the offense is finally starting to go. So there's reasons to have some faith. But and I'm not pumping sunshine here. I'm not speaking for the club. I'm just speaking from experience.
Yeah.
This is the season's so long, and you can look at all kinds of examples, not just past Rangers teams, just past teams around the game who have been sucky for 90 games, and then all of a sudden they end up in the postseason. It's a real thing. It really happens, and that's why these Rangers keep saying we're a good team. We're fine. We just need to get going, and there's time to get going. All those things are true.
Yeah, and the thing that really stinks, and I get where Ranger fans get upset, and they're looking at this deadline saying, either sell, or there's some that are saying who you're going to go get and do all of that. This team assembled now, if all are playing up to capabilities, is the team. I mean, could they use a true closer? I mean, they've done well this year. They really haven't blown. Remember the 23 year, they were blowing saves all year long. They haven't really done that. Yeah, they've had a couple of them that have had some bad situations, but all in all, this team has the talent. So what could they do at the trade deadline? Everybody talks about a DH sort of bat that they could go get, or maybe a true closer. First of all, I don't think they're going to rent anybody unless they go on a tear here and there's a good cheap rental, or maybe a decent person they could get on a rental, but they need to get on a tear right before the deadline to do that. But I mean, who is a possibility?
Well, I think a renter, a rental reliever is a possibility. They're cheap in terms of finances at this point in the year, and then B, a rental's not going to cost you a ton of prospects. And so that one's doable. As on a rental, but I think, and I wrote this at alldls.com. There are a lot of ways. There are three ways they can go. They could be just straight buyers. Okay, they could be sellers, but not a fire sale. Speaking of 1 year relievers, the Rangers have about 1,000 of them. So those guys get traded if the bottom falls out. Then another way to do it is to kind of look at helping this year's club, and also looking ahead to 26 and beyond. And that's where you want to get maybe a controllable starter who might be available. And they're, those aren't easy to get because everybody wants starting pitching. Everybody wants controllable starting pitching. And the Rangers do seem to be kind of, on a financial leash, if you will. So they're going to have to get creative. So you could maybe see a major leaguer for a major leaguer, a deal like that. But I just the fire sale's not happening.
I don't think so.
The core is staying intact. I think potentially if a name were to be traded, it would be Adolis, just because he's just not the player next year that the Rangers are going to want to invest a ton of money into. I hope Milner doesn't go. If the Rangers have a chance, they need Hobie Milner.
I agree, but if they fall out, that's a guy that would be popular.
Yeah, and honestly, if they fall out, you wonder if a team would be interested in Patrick Corbin.
That's another one.
Based on what he's done this year, he signed for $1 million. I mean, the Rangers have gotten so much value out of Patrick Corbin; it's not even funny.
Well, the Rangers did something too that nobody gives them credit for. They have loaded up on depth. I mean, to have Corbin, you've got these other guys. The depth at starting rotation has really served them well. Then they've got 3 guys in the minor leagues that you and I have talked about that could be set to maybe help out at the big league level when you've got people like Drake and Bratt and stuff like that, which they're probably not going to get here this year, but they could. I mean, let's say they sell off. That could be 2 guys that in here by the end of the year. I don't know, but depth is so important. That's why you see them sign these guys that come in for 1 year or whatever that aren't getting the deals that they want, and they picked up a couple of them. And then, but coming in, I think if they do a lot of big moves, it's going to be in the offseason. I think in the offseason,
Yeah.
they might readjust this thing. There's going to be guys that are going to come off the books, obviously, that become free agents, and then there's going to be guys that they just trade and they reset and go. And let me ask you this: I've kind of wondered this. I think it leans way more no than yes, but would they consider a Kyle Tucker?
Well, I would hope so.
There's your right field solution right there.
What is Kyle Tucker going to get paid? Probably $30 million a year, right?
Yep.
And
28, 29. He's 29 or 30, something like that.
And the Rangers have Malley and Gray coming off the books, and that's $30 million right there. Hey, and if they don't do Adolis, then that's another $9.25. Really projected arbitration salary at this rate's probably around 12. So if you want to think, well, there's 42 million, Corbin 43, all these relievers probably don't add up to about 10 or 12, but let's say they have 55 million to play with before raises through arbitration and stuff like that. That gets you Kyle Tucker, Yep. But then you really are kind of in a similar spot where you're beholden on these relievers on 1-year deals. Leiter and Rocker at that point are no question in the rotation next year, and you still are going to need another starter. So, you probably want a more veteran guy. So I think it's a possibility. I wouldn't discount it. Now, I don't know if Tucker could live with himself signing with the Rangers. I'm sure that a pile of money could make all the Astros loyalties he feels go away. But it'll be interesting, John. I would hope that they at least give it a shot.
I would have never thought, but then all of a sudden I started looking at where the salary's going to hit and go there, and I'm like, if Adolis isn't the guy that you and I kind of both agree on that I don't think that he's necessarily going to be back here next year. He's underperformed again. And I like Adolis, one of the greatest guys to deal with. He's such a sweet guy. But, I mean, this is a team that, let's be honest, they think they should be contending. And that's an upgrade. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's an upgrade right there. So
yeah, and Tucker's a good defensive player. The problem with the lineup, and you're not seeing it right now, although you are kind of when it's not going well. Too many aggressive hitters. Yeah, they have Adolis and Jake Berger and Josh Young, who's having to get reset there at AAA. Simeon, Seager, Heim. That's 6 ultra aggressive hitters. Langford is an aggressive hitter, 7. So you need a couple. You can't have 7 of those guys who the only way they get on base is through getting base hits. Because if you're not hitting, then you're not getting on base. Now, Simeon and Seager obviously will draw walks, but the point being, you need to balance out the lineup. And Evan Carter, he kind of he gets pointed to a lot as the guy with the best at bats, and I tell you, Alejandro Osuna puts together some good at bats. So does Kyle Higashioka. The results aren't always there, but he does put together. A good
he works
the
count. Yeah.
So you need some more guys like that. Yeah. And, because as we saw, when everybody slumps, opposing teams aren't afraid of you. And they don't pitch around you. Yep. The only one that gets pitched around is Corey Seager. And good for Corey, good on Corey for taking his walks. He has a 14 game on base streak. Yep. Good for him, and recognizing, and then maybe him taking walks is having a trickle down effect on guys like, well, shoot, if Corey can take a walk, then maybe if Corey, the most aggressive hitter the Rangers have had since Josh Hamilton, can on first pitches at least, if he can take a walk, then I can take a walk. If he can take a first pitch, then I can take a first pitch.
Absolutely.
And it's all about recognizing the pitch out of the hand. Is it a ball? Is it a strike? Does it look like a strike, but it's a slider and it's going to fall off the plate? Just things that these guys seem to be doing a better job of. of late.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be intriguing. Listen, we're going to let you know right now. These next 2 weeks are kind of up and iffy on there. I've got to go somewhere next week. We may try to get something together next Friday. I don't know, but you're out of town the week after that for sure.
Yeah, little family vacation.
So we may be. This may be off for 2 weeks, guys. I don't know yet. But
we need to figure out a way to get Kip Fag on after the draft.
After the draft, for sure.
We can see maybe if he can do Wednesday or Thursday of next week, because the draft's only 2 days this year. It's Sunday and Monday, so maybe that pushes him up. But we'll look into it.
Absolutely.
But we got to. This is going to be a fun one today. We need to get Josh on here and start talking about his Reds and his comedy special.
Absolutely, Josh Sneed, guys. Right after this. Okay, guys, and joining us right now from Cincinnati, it is our friend and our stand-up comedian of the show. I'm telling you that right now. It's Cincinnati Red superfan stand-up comedian Josh Sneed, who's got a new special out now called Fat Ryan. We're about to talk about that too. By the way, you need to go see this. It's a new special. He'll tell you how to see it. It's hysterical. Jeff and I both have watched it. Josh, what's up, man?
Hey, boys. I'm going to be honest with you. It feels good to be talking to you when the Reds are over 500. It's a new thing. I haven't experienced it yet. It's only a couple games, but I'll take it. We're in late July, mid-July, and things are not gloom and doom like when I usually talk to you.
Yeah, 2 games above 500. They played the Rangers. That was the first road series for the Rangers where it was frigid cold. Rangers won 2 out of 3, 2-1-0 games, and then the Reds went and lost 1-0 the next night too, which was crazy, but that's the way baseball goes. But yeah, it's been a reversal of fortunes, I would guess. But great pitching.
It's been fun to watch. I hope Hunter Green comes back, and I hope Chase Burns quits telling people what he's about to throw. But if those two things happen, I think it could make for a fun couple of months here.
Only 3 games out of the wild card.
Yeah. Where's Rhett Lauder right now? Is he?
I don't know the official word. I think that he had a pretty major setback, so I don't know if we'll see him this year, which is a real bummer. But it'd be an embarrassment of riches if he got healthy, and Andrew Abbott's an all-star, and Brady Singer seems to be the real deal. I think we got the best of that trade with the Royals for India.
Yeah.
Nick Martinez can almost throw a no-hitter one night and then get absolutely shelled by the Marlins. Like, who knows what's going on with him? But I don't know, man. It's fun. I'm curious to see what they do at the trade deadline. It's been a while since we've been potential buyers, so I don't know. They're fun to watch. I think Terry Francona is like the real deal when it comes to just improving the talent in the clubhouse.
Yeah, and I think the Rangers experienced that with Bruce Bochy initially, and these are World Series winning guys, Hall of Fame guys, and they make a difference. They command respect, but they're not jerks. They let the players police themselves and kind of speak up, but they make a decision. It's like, you can't say, "Oh, what have you ever done?" It's like,
That's right. That's right.
Like, yeah, I ended the Red Sox curse. That's what I did. What about you, young fella? What have you done?
That's
so
hilarious.
Cool.
His seat. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but his seat in the dugout is a fishing chair. It's like a chair from a fishing boat that they installed in the dugout. Yeah,
I did not see that.
Big padded chair. It's awesome. He is like, people love him around here.
Yeah, no, he's a hoot. He's a good guy. And Nick Martinez, drafted by the Rangers from Fordham University, and it was pretty funny. In 2014, the Rangers had all these injuries in the rotation to start the year, And we have our meeting with the general manager before camp breaks. And we're like, hey, who's the rotation? He goes, well, it's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Any guesses on the fifth guy?
Nick
And
Martinez.
it was Nick Martinez, who had never pitched above high A, I don't think. And he did fine, and he's made a nice career. Went to Japan. He's made a bunch of money, and he's getting paid huge money this year because he got the qualifying offer, which was very surprising.
I was surprised too, but everybody loves him,
Yeah.
and I love his, pacing in the dugout. Like he's just got a good energy, and I love his attitude that, hey, you need me to come in long relief or throw an inning one night and then start a couple nights later. Like that's the kind of guys you want to see on the team.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude. So glad for his success. But yeah, is there playoff fever in Cincinnati?
I mean, there's certainly hopefulness. Again, like you hate. It's not hard to remember years where this time of year you're already going, when's training camp start for the Bengals?
Yeah.
So it's nice to. I don't know. I feel like even if they don't make the playoffs, that there's at least a sentiment that there's a different vibe, and that the players are energized, and you don't feel like when they're down 3 or 4 runs early in the game that they're out of it. Whereas I feel like that used to be that was the case even last year, where it's like if you didn't put 6 or 7 on the board early and get their starter out, it was over. If we can solidify the bullpen, I like Emilio Pagan. He's a great dude. I'm curious to see if he has the closer mentality. I would love a guy that I'm just confident, comes in and shuts down in the 9th.
Sure.
Because Alexis Diaz, I thought he was going to be that guy, and he's not. I hope he gets it figured out, but I don't know, man. It's nice to feel like there's some stuff to get excited about.
Yeah. Well, Pagan at least has the experience. He's done it before. He's been a little inconsistent at times, but he's at least, you can be like, all right, he's got track record. And then it just takes a guy getting hot and driving in the role for a little bit. Look at the Rangers in the 23 playoffs. I mean, good Lord.
100%. And if I just wish their hitting was a little more consistent. I maybe it's that way with every team, but I feel like we'll put up 12 runs on somebody and then not score a run for 3 days. And it's just like, if we can get 3 or 4 runs a game with the way our starting pitching's been, I mean, we'll be in every game. And we've looked good against the Dodgers. We've looked good against the Yankees. So that kind of stuff's encouraging. But then, when you split with the Marlins, you're like, oh man, like that's the life of a Reds fan.
Yeah, well,
you sound like a Ranger fan right now. Good Lord, the Rangers, you're describing the Rangers. If they could ever score 4 or 5 runs, the pitching staff's the best in the American League right now. All of that, it's the same thing.
The Rangers are fun, man. A lot of people use like fantasy football to be informed on teams outside of their favorite team, or gambling. They follow other teams. I have crippling addiction to sports cards, which I've told John about on a number of occasions. So I pay attention to the Rangers prospects and those guys coming up because I'll pull some of their cards out of packs, and want to follow along to see how they're doing. But you guys are fun, man. It's a fun team.
They can be maddening, but like DeGrom. Well, Cincinnati has a lot of young starters. DeGrom and Eovaldi are like as a veteran as it gets, and DeGrom is so good. We're finally seeing it. If we didn't follow the National League, we didn't really get the experience there in 18 and 19. But this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's special, man. And you just feel like you can tell, like with what happened to Corbin Burns in Arizona too, like you can just tell it means something to these guys, and they hate being hurt. They get these contracts and the fans are mad because they don't get to see these guys, but you can see it when they're out there that it's why that people invest that kind of money in them, because when they're on, they are unhittable.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
and when
crazy.
he did get hurt and like he talked to the media, he had to he was choking back tears. He wanted it so bad, and some guys will, especially the long-term injury guys, they'll come in, get their work, and leave. He was at the ballpark every night. I mean, he was invested in it. And you're right. He's making $40 million this year, and some people think it's a bargain. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, a bargain is that kid from the Brewers. He's
Oh
my
God.
right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Miz.
Skeens is still a bargain. Damn, that's Central, man.
It's good baseball
it's not
there.
a joke.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals are never bad. Like I want 1 year. Just give me 1 year where they are terrible. And they are never terrible.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Hey, well, listen, I got to say this, and I don't know what's going on. And it was probably Jeff and I talked about it at one time. So our AA team is real close. It's actually closer to me than the Ranger Stadium, which we go to a lot. And I was out there one day to watch a game, and I was in the press box, and there were two scouts there, and one of them was a Cincinnati Red Scout. And he was talking to a guy, I think from the Diamondbacks or whatever. And the Cincinnati Red Scout was saying he had been he goes, well, I was in Hub City. I was in Hickory there. And then I went to Hub City and now I'm here. And he's like, boy, they got you following the Rangers around. And and I was like, hey, what, could something be cooking between the Rangers and the Reds here? I mean, because look, you have they have certain guys that go to just cover teams. Some scouts are only in areas or whatever. So I was kind of fluffed off with it. Could just be getting all their homework done and doing that. But I know that they can cut down on travel. They have your local guys go scout these guys, and then your cross checkers or whatever come in later, kind of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll watch that. I don't know what could be on.
We might have to have a follow-up. We might have a trade deadline special here.
I would love that, man. It's so exciting. Like Jeff Passan yesterday proposed like a trade for every team that's currently over 500, and for the Reds he suggested acquiring Stephen Kwan. And I would like just someone in media outside of Cincinnati proposing a way for the Reds to get better. Like everyone is buzzing about a suggestion from a guy like that. Normally it's, sell off your best players and then hope these farm guys come up and do well. But when it's actually like, let's trade some farm guys and make this current Reds team better, like even just talking about it gets people fired up because it never happens.
And one more Rangers tie to the Reds is Jose Trevino, the catcher who
he's been
signed an
great.
extension. He's a great defensive catcher, good kid. He's not a kid anymore, for crying out loud. But that was a big addition too. That was a sneaky big addition.
Yeah, and he's pitched twice in the last 2 weeks. I don't know if you saw that. He got his first strikeout throwing the
nice. Attaboy. Attaboy. Yeah,
I had a beer with Jose one night. And his wife was there, and they had the new baby, but the baby wasn't there that night. When it was when Jared Sandler had his little thing. Do you remember that? And Jose was there. They were raising money for one of the media guys there. It had a flood. And Jose sat with me and his wife. We were drinking a beer. And he was a young Ranger then, and he was up with the big league team. He's just a nice guy. I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to him. I know you get to meet a few of the players, but he's a nice guy.
I haven't met him, but people love him.
Very humble. His first major league hit, I think, came on Father's Day. It was a walk-off hit, and his father has passed. And he's just emotional, just genuine dude. So the pitchers are doing great, and I'm going to bet that Jose Trevino has a hell of a lot to do with it.
I agree. Man, I would love to have an episode with you guys where we just talk about those kind of baseball moments.
Sure.
Just like the only happen in baseball, like the game after Jose Fernandez passed away, like all the stuff that happened in that game. And then Michael Lorenzen, when he was here, his father had passed away. And the next game he came in to relieve and got an at bat, which relief pitchers never at bat.
Right.
but it was a long relief, and he hit a home run.
In a home run. Yeah.
And it was like, this stuff only happens in baseball, and I want like a whole thing dedicated to like crazy numbers. Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder ended with the same amount of home runs.
Right.
Like,
That's
crazy
nuts.
stuff.
That's
It's
nuts.
like the Tony Gwynn and Greg Maddux. I don't know. I'm obsessed with all that like baseball god stuff.
Well, we're gonna have to work on it. Let's put our heads together.
Yeah, we'll have to do it. Hey, but one thing else we've really got to get in. Jeff, did you have some more baseball stuff?
No. Let's start talking. Let's start talking comedy special.
Oh my gosh, guys! If you haven't, tell them how they can get this. Man, I'm telling you right now, if you guys are fans of funny, clean comedy, we've been touting Josh now for a few years. I've been a big fan of his, and I met him when we were in Arizona, and he's come on here a few times. But this new special is all new stuff. When are you coming to Dallas? Jeez, I mean, come on! You need to come. We'll put together a crew for you.
I'm working on it. I really am. That's what I'm doing right now, is working on the fall and winter tour to promote as this special comes out. But there's a website called disruptorcomedy.com, and they are the ones who are releasing the special for me. So for about the next week, disruptorcomedy.com is the place you can go to watch it. And thank you for watching it. You're very kind, and I do appreciate it. I've been very excited about this special. I recorded it here at a theater in Cincinnati last November, and it's just a beautiful venue, and it's a 50 minutes worth of comedy I've been working on for several years now. So I was really happy with the way that it turned out. But disruptorcomedy.com is where you can see it for like the next week. Then it'll get to Apple iTunes and Amazon, and then in about a month it'll go to YouTube and some other streaming platforms where you can watch it with ads. But don't wait for that. Just spend $6.95. You own it. You can watch it whenever you want. And I hope you'll find it worth it.
Oh, dude, and it's called Fat Ryan, which that story in itself is hysterical, but it's great, guys. I'm telling you right now, you got to go do it. And it's funny you say that, because you get compared to one guy, and that's funny. I wanted to go to that. Jeff, have you ever been compared to any celebrity? Has anybody ever said, you look like this celebrity or that celebrity?
This one it's unbelievable. And I don't see it at all. And it's happened many, many times. And it's total BS. Adam Sandler. I mean, it happened. I'm telling you right now, it happened like 6 months ago at a drive-through window. I pulled up to pay, and the lady was like, "Oh my God, Adam Sandler." I was like, no chance, lady. Stop.
You were looking in your rearview mirror going, what?
No, I've heard it for 15, 20 years. Like,
in fairness, you always do say, "Can I have some extra napkins, please?
That's right.
Can you give me some ketchup in my bag, please?"
Mine is the worst, because look, when I was a kid, everybody said I looked like the kid on Golden Pond. I don't know what his name is, but that's what I was told. But
the timely reference.
Who's
but
gonna
the only
get
other
that
one, the only other one as an adult was not near as sexy as the both of y'all. I got told a couple of times, we were on a trip for my old job, that I look like Donnie Most, who played
Oh Jesus,
Ralph Mouth,
who played Ralph Mouth on on Happy Days, and there was a photo of him and the way I used to wear my hair, and I was like,
Afro,
I see it. Yeah, he kind of had big hair, and I had big hair. I was like, oh my God, with the nose and everything, I guess I kind of see it. And I was like, why couldn't it be Fat Ryan? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, like Jeff, it's like you look like a skinny Adam Sandler. Like if it was like, I'm the bigger version of someone,
Yeah.
And I there is a saving grace that it is, the sexiest man on earth.
That's right.
But still, like that would have been worse, right? If it was like he's like a fat Steve Buscemi or something like that. That's what you don't want to hear, is that you let yourself go, but even if you clean it up, there's still no hope for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it
no,
is
that was-
crazy. If you go to any YouTube video of me, any single one, and go through the comments or Facebook or anywhere there's clips of my stand-up that have a comment section, you will see that comment over and over and over again.
That's
Fat
hysterical.
Ryan Gosling. So that's why it's called Fat Ryan. Initially, it was going to be called, I wanted to call it Fat Ryan Gosling separated at girth, but
That's a pretty long title.
but we couldn't. Yeah, we couldn't get away with it, so we settled on Fat Ryan.
No, it was and the way you described it, like if he went on a 20-year cheat day, got stung by a bee,
Had a handful of peanuts and reacted to both of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that's perfect. Yeah, no, it was and I gotta admit, I listened to it. I didn't watch it. I was playing through my Bluetooth in the car, and there was one guy in the audience who had a very gregarious laugh, and it was like, and this is totally specific and random, but it was like the Sean Connery impersonator on SNL, Daryl Hammond.
Oh, yeah, Daryl.
When he does the Sean Connery laugh after he says like "the tits now" or "the rapists," that's what that guy sounded like.
Yeah,
That's what that guy sounded like. It was just an over the top laugh, and maybe that's something you don't catch if you're watching it. But like, for the audio, I was like, man, this guy's having a great time.
Now I got homework. I'll go back and watch it again and just listen for that.
You also have to listen for that. We had to take out the audio from a drunk lady who was in the front row screaming stuff. Like they go, this is a recording of a special that is going to be played on networks. Like, please don't yell out,
Yeah.
This lady in the front row was hammered.
Oh, Jesus.
And like when I'm talking about Fat Ryan Gosling and I say, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel when people say that, you just hear her go, "It's a compliment. Take it as a compliment." And I'm like, can we please fix this somehow? And luckily, I don't think you can hear in the parts where she belts out, but the whole time I'm on stage, I'm just like going, if this one woman ruins this thing for me. Because we did it in one show. It was one show.
All right.
Well, it was great. I mean, I had heard none of that stuff before, and I listened to all your stuff, and it was all new. Well, I think I had kind of heard the baseball coaching thing.
Maybe when you were in Arizona.
Yeah. And I think I had heard that, but other than that, man, it was hysterical. Guys, you'll love this. I mean, I say this, if you're a fan of Nate Bargatze, you will love Josh Sneed.
That's very kind of you.
That's a comparison I do where you can have the kids and family sit down and listen to it. And my wife, who's going to get to listen to it because we're going to have conversations about her wanting to be on the phone and talk all the time. And I'm like, that is literally us right there. And the way it is. And so she'll dislike you for 1 second of that while I'm over there looking at her like, yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I feel like there's a couple, like the TJ Maxx audience, I think is going to come for me after they see this. There's some really fun stuff. And that's why I think I'm most excited about with this special is that none of the jokes have been in any other special or on any other album I've done. I've had to do some Taylor Swifting of old material on my previous specials to like re-release it because of dumb legal stuff. But this one is, unless you've seen me live in the last year or so, like you will not have found this anywhere online.
Well, and the thing I liked about it, it's all relatable to like, because we're middle-aged dads and
husbands.
The I can't fix anything around the house, so I have I've got to call everybody. I hate going to Home Depot and asking for help. I'll walk around for 20 minutes, and just try to avoid. Do you need any help? No, I'm good. I know exactly what I need. Yeah.
It's a generational thing. That's what I've learned is that, and I tell this is material I'm working on now because I'm trying to, get ahead of when this gets out, that when I do clubs, people that saw it don't come and see the same show. But
Yeah.
like my wife has this thing where she wants to talk about everything and discover why we feel a certain way or what makes me do decisions the way that I do. But with men, like in material like that Home Depot, we don't have to talk about it. I just want to be able to say it and you go, yep. And I go,
Yeah.
yep. And we're good just knowing that both of us are experiencing it and moving on.
For sure.
No, the comparison to that, and I've heard it on another comedian, Bill Engvall talked about it. Have you ever seen, I think it, no, it's, I forget his name, talking about when he went and played golf with the guy and the guy, Brian Regan, and he went and played golf. Have you seen that bit, Josh? He went and played golf and his wife, because the guy he played golf with had been divorced like 8 months ago. And he goes, how's he doing? He goes, huh, he's fine. He goes, is he dating anyone? I don't know. You know, the whole time he's like, I don't know. You don't know? You were with, how long were y'all together? 4 hours? Yeah. You don't know if he's dating anybody? Oh, he's got a new driver.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's so relatable. And you're special. The whole time I'm sitting there dying laughing and I'm going, yeah, the exact same dadgum conversation I've had right there.
Yeah.
So,
so how do you come up with a bit? I mean, because yours are, they're not just like punchline, it's and then like, how do you know when to stop it? The comedic timing, I guess.
So for me, like I'm jealous in a way of people that are more prolific than I am, that crank out like a Nate Bargatze or those Jim Gaffigan or Regan. Like they just, the way that they generate new material is mind-boggling to me, but they're very disciplined in that they go sit down and they write stuff out and they figure it out. I've learned that for me, something just has to come to me, like something either happens or I say something and I go, I know how I would use that in my act, and I just write down enough words to be able to remember what I want to talk about on stage. And I've learned that for me, when I do that, it forces me to talk the way that I would talk off stage, versus if I write out every word exactly how I want to say it, it sounds scripted. It sounds like a monologue. And what I hear from people after the shows is, it's like you were just up there talking. It's like we were just at some place hanging out and you were just telling stories. And that's what I want. I want it to feel like it's a organic, one-sided conversation, that's happening kind of in the moment. So for me, it's just, if something happens that I think might work well in the act, I type an email to myself on my phone and I just put a specific subject line in there and I send it. And that way, when I go to figure out what new material I want to work on, I can sort my inbox by that subject line and just see my notes. I don't carry around a notebook. I mean, back in the day, I used to have one of those probably little tape recorders you guys maybe still have, with the little spy cassettes in there. I used to keep one of those in my console, and if I was on a road trip, I'd pull it out if I thought of something funny. I used to call my house and leave a message on my answering machine.
Nice.
Answering machine, not even voicemail, like a legit answering machine. Back in the day.
Boy, you could lose a whole show if you got home and the answer machine was messed up or the tape was wrong.
I know, it's technology that saved. Mitch Hedberg used to do a joke where he said, if I'm laying in bed and I think of a joke, I have to convince myself it's not funny enough to get up and go write it down.
that's
you'd have to talk himself out of it.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Listen.
Well, yeah. So you're planning some tour dates.
Yeah, those should be announced here in the next couple of weeks or so. I hope to have that tour finalized. I've already got Vegas, Atlanta, and Cleveland on there before the end of the year, and I'm going to add a bunch more. I'm looking at a bunch of dates in Louisiana, and Dallas is one of the places I hope to get booked as well. So if that happens, would love to hook up with you guys.
For sure.
We'll
For
be there.
sure.
You know, I know you went to Hyenas. Is that where you came to Dallas before?
Yeah, I did. I always mess it up. Plano.
Yeah,
I
Plano.
did Plano, and then the downtown room, and then and their Fort Worth room as well.
Well, I messaged them one time and said, hey, because they were saying, who do you guys want to see? I said, you guys need to get Josh Sneed. And the guy goes, we need to get him back. And they were saying that. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just nobody, so I'm not following up. Do I need to follow up and remind you guys? Did you guys reach out to him? What happened?
Yeah.
So
Get on it, John. Jesus. What's the whole?
What am I paying you for, dude?
No kidding. I gotta get that spiff going. Hey, Josh, listen. I mean, look, we've been on here a while. We've kept you a long time. This thing will come out later. Tell everybody again where they can find this. It's just so funny. And man, the baseball talk's just as good today because I think the Reds and the Rangers, we're literally the same fan base right now.
We are.
If our offense,
well, I don't know. I think the Reds are on a high, and the Rangers fans are like, "What's wrong with these son of a bitches?" So I well,
that's
maybe
just
we're trading places.
That's the difference in our franchises, right? You guys could be 2 games over 500 and want to fire everyone. We're 2 games over 500. We're like, sign all these people to long-term contracts. This feels amazing. To watch the special, go to disruptorcomedy.com. You'll see it right on the homepage. $6.95. It's funny. Back in the day, we used to say 25 cents is the price of a cup of coffee, but coffee's more expensive. So $6.95, the price of a cup of coffee.
Yes. Mine this morning was $7.20.
You can own the special, watch it whenever you want. In the next couple weeks, it'll roll out on Amazon and iTunes, and then eventually YouTube and all those places. But go watch it now, check it out, and follow me on the socials, Josh Sneed, and pick up some Rangers gear at intheclutch.com. Rangers fan gear.
Absolutely.
Yes, we've got that too. And honestly, guys, as soon as if he does book something here in the Metroplex, for sure, we'll get all that out. We'll try to get a group together and get some tickets and have some fun there. And I promise you, if we do, I guarantee you'll get to meet Josh. We will make that happen. We'll all get to meet him and talk to him.
Yeah. Dude, I love you guys. I will talk to you whenever you'll have me about anything. Like, you guys are so awesome. I appreciate you having me. So,
well, thank you. It was a very fortuitous trip that John took that night to the comedy club in Phoenix, and that's really all he's ever done for me, to be honest. But I really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you.
All right, Josh,
that's Josh Sneed, guys. We're going down in the bus leagues right after this. Thanks, Josh. All right, a big thanks to Josh Sneed. That's fun. That was funny.
Yeah. And, seriously, go check out the special. It's very good. Spend the $7.
Yeah, it's so worth it
because he is really a funny man.
Yeah, and you know what? It sounds like he's going to try to get to Dallas, which we need to do. If you watch that special, you'll all want to go see it. And so, yeah. And it's just, I think it's because he can control with his T-shirt stuff. He can kind of control, how much he travels and doing that as a comedian. And so, because he does a lot of, he's a family guy and does a lot of stuff there, which he doesn't do as much. But now I think he's starting to realize he likes us a lot. So he wants to get to Dallas. But listen, we got to go down to the bus leagues, talk about the minor league stuff. And we're going to knock this out real quick, guys. The draft is coming up. I mean, I guess real quick, you and I have talked privately. We can kind of talk publicly here. We don't know where the Rangers are going in this thing. Every mock draft tends to lean towards some sort of middle infield high school kid. Seen a couple,
or the Oklahoma pitcher was.
Yes, the Oklahoma.
Yeah, he keeps getting called up or linked to the Rangers. Ike Irish, the Auburn catcher, if he's not gone by then, I think the Rangers could look at him. I know they took a catcher last year, but and in the major league draft, you don't draft for need because these guys aren't coming to the major leagues anytime soon. But you kind of look at the Rangers catching situation in the minor leagues, and it's thin. All right, it is thin. So I could see a situation like that. But They also haven't taken a high school kid since Cole Wynn in 2018. But the draft is more. It's heavier on the high school talent this year than college talent. A lot of high school shortstops. That's why I think the Rangers getting linked. And at that point in the draft at 12, the guys who are expected to be off the board almost certainly will be off the board. And so then it becomes kind of after that point, it becomes a crapshoot.
Yep. And the reason they like, you see middle infielders a lot and shortstops especially, anybody that plays up, every scout will tell you, anybody that plays up the middle is athletic and can play a lot of different places. And whether that shortstop becomes a second baseman at the big league level, or maybe they end up in the outfield, a center fielder, or on a corner, depending on, because a lot of shortstops these days are so big and they outgrow look at Walcott, freaking Walcott's 6'5", over there, but he still plays a good shortstop. But will he stick there? I don't know. If he's going to be in the big leagues the next couple of years, he's not going to be at shortstop more than likely. I mean, there is a situation where maybe you move Seager one way or the other. But let's go down to AAA first. That's the Round Rock Express. We're in the second half of the season, guys. I got to tell you, it's kind of bleak at the top of the organization, looking really good at the bottom. AAA Round Rock, they're in third place right now. They're 6-7 in the second half. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They lost last night. They've got a third baseman there that a lot of people know. Resetting. He just got in there. He's been there, 3 games?
Yeah, he got sent out last week, and you have 72 hours to report. All right. Well, then they had the terrible rains in Central Texas, and raining out 2 games at Round Rock is the least of the issues down there. But for Josh Young, he didn't play until Tuesday because Monday's also an off day. So basically, he went a week without playing. He's had hits in each game that he's been in. I think he's around 4 for 14 or 4 for 15. And I haven't seen the at bats. I haven't seen the contact quality or exit velocities or anything like that. But the thing that Jake Berger did when Jake went down was he mashed, hit home runs, batted close to 400 and just killed the ball. And the Rangers were like, all right, he gets it. Josh might have a little more work to do, but other guys out there, our great friends, Blaine Krim, Cody Freeman, and Justin Foscue, and Dustin Harris. Dustin Harris has really come on. He was really kind of struggling there for a while, but he's picked up his average. He's had some walk-off homers, still steals tons of bases. He's doing a lot better. So that's a real good sign right there.
And it's a shame that Cole wins there.
Right. Cole just was a victim of the fatigue and the numbers game.
And having options.
Having options. I suspected that Cole Wynn, who still hasn't allowed a run in an earned run, at least in AAA, is fine. Robbie Alstrom, one of the darlings of spring training, probably walking too many guys, but he's a bulldog. He's a left-hander if they need one. Not on the 40-man, though. Cody Hauer was the Rangers reliever of the month for June. He is on the 40-man. So Luis Carvello's kind of taken a step back since his rumored promotion that never developed. So they don't have a lot there. Mark Church is hurt. Although he is throwing, he's in Arizona, and he's throwing. Emiliano Teodo is injured. He's throwing, so they don't look like options right away. And then another name to keep in mind if you're looking for bullpen help, Patrick Murphy, the guy who honestly was going to make the team out of spring training. Mike Maddox loves him. Caleb Bosley's down there. He can come back.
Sure.
But Murphy, might want to keep an eye on him.
Yeah. And so let's go down to AA, the Frisco Rough Riders, who unfortunately probably the most talented team in the organization right now. AA, they're in 4th place right now, second half. They're 5-10. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games, and they've lost a couple in a row. Walcott hit a home run last night.
Yeah.
But they're scuttling a bit, and Zavala got moved up and now he's back down. I think that was just a, kind of a promotion up.
They needed somebody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bats have really cooled off, and when you were out to Frisco last time and saw Carlos, he was talking about how they need to get the bats going. And so nobody's down there just raking, I think that Walcott continues to hold his own. The numbers aren't fabulous, especially if you're a batting average guy at 238, but again, he's not striking out a ton.
Right.
And they have guys who will run into one. Abby Ortiz, he's going to run into some balls, and he is more of a prospect than Luis Mieses, who leads tied with the team lead with 11 homers with Abby. Sebastian's at 9. Cam Cauley, we're talking about the draft and guys, who are shortstops and play up the middle who are great athletes. Cam's getting some outfield time, and just another way to make him more attractive and more valuable to the major league team. Fast as the Dickens, he probably strikes out too much, but he also has a little more power in his back, and that's starting to show up.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is a Josh Smith starter kit, in my opinion. He's right-handed, and he's a guy easily that could take the place of someone like Ezekiel Duran. That's that end of the bench guy that kind of plays different positions. Cauley plays a lot of positions, got a little pop in that bat when he can hit it. But more than Zeke, way more than Zeke, the guy's fast. And boy, he can run. And I've seen it in person. I've seen Frisco twice now. Went out there, like I said, the one day and talked to Carlos, and then I went out, got a chance to sneak away and go watch Jake Berger. His one rehab there. And I started to ask him about it afterwards, because it was right after that there was something that happened in the game that we thought maybe we would see. Berger told me, hey, I'm supposed to play 9 tomorrow night, but someone got hit in the game, the big league game or whatever. And it's like, well, maybe you might be coming back. They might need you before that.
Well, that was also, the next day is when they sent down Young. So I think that they were just looking for anything worthwhile from Jake in that rehab game to tell him that he's probably better off right now than Josh. And then, they couldn't wait much longer to get Josh sent down. So anyway.
And Jake hit one, the first at bat, that off the bat, I thought it's a home run. And the guy caught it at the wall in deep left center. He just got a little bit under it, but boy, he hit it good. And then he flared one out there for a hit, and he hit a couple hard that went right at people. But he looked good at the plate and looked comfortable. And you know what? Again, true to his form when he was there, he just flat out signed autographs, talked to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Just always done it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
We need to mention Mitch Bratt had a good rebound start the other night.
Yeah.
Cole Drake, we forgot about him in AAA. He followed John Gray on rehab the other night and gave up 1 run in 5 innings. So his best outing, I guess, if you will. I think he's only had a couple at AAA. And then David Davalillo, 2 starts now at Frisco. He was given some time off after he was promoted. Little fatigue factor in there, but he had a good AA start the other night.
Yeah. All right, let's go to High A. The Hub City Spartan Burgers. Now they have taken off. They're in first place right now. They're 11-7 in the second half. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won their last couple of games. The babies or the kids, they're starting off the second half.
Yeah, and unfortunately. There just hasn't been a ton of offense with this team, and they definitely have the guys to do it. It just hasn't clicked for a lot of these guys, which is unfortunate. But Casey Cook is having a good month so far. He's batting 300. I know it hasn't been a ton of games, but Arturo Disla, who just seems like a heck of a guy, big-bodied fella. Anthony Gutierrez, still not showing a ton of power, but a little more patience at the plate for him. And then, Malcolm Moore, who's still trying to get back readjusted. But, this team has some talent on it. It has the first 3 draft picks from last season.
Yeah.
And then on the pitching side, Jose Gonzalez, Leandro Lopez, Josh Snned, who's looking more and more like a dude. And, so some arms that if you've been following the system, you're familiar with them and know them well. Mason Molina has pitched well since he got promoted from Hickory.
Yeah. All right, let's go down to Low A Hickory, the hottest team of them all.
Wow.
They are 13-4. They're in first place. They're 13-4 again.
Wow.
Just like High A, they're 8-2 in their last 10, and they've won their last couple of games. And this, in the last few years, every time we've updated Hickory, whether they were High A or Low A, they seem to be the one that was always chasing everybody else. But they have started out this second half.
Well, that's good, and that's what you get with these young guys or these inexperienced guys who are, in their first, season with a full season affiliate. It's a big deal. The bus rides and all of that stuff, some things that they have to adjust to. One guy who I don't know a ton about, honestly, I did a little investigative work on Hector Osorio, who this month is hitting 409 with a 500 on base percentage. Doesn't hit for a ton of power, never really has, but his June was like the best month of his career. He's not an old guy by any stretch. A young international kid. I think he's 19 or 20. He's, and you never know when these guys are going to break out. And he looks like he's breaking out because his first 2 months were not very good. You go look at him, it's like, oh my gosh. And then so hopefully June's not an outlier. And his start to July, it's kind of showing that it's not. So, Max and Martin's a little sluggish this month, but still they're probably the best player Hickory has as far as hitting. Devin Fitzgerald, Jeremy Cabrera, some prospect guys that are more prospecty than Osorio for sure. So those are the hitting guys. And then, the pitching side, Caden Scarborough. All right. Ishmael Agreda, and another guy who had a pretty nice June. And I need to, I don't want to mispronounce his name, so I have to find it and make sure I'm reading it correctly. Enrique Segura had a very, very nice June. And then the guy to watch, and I think I mentioned this previously, that hasn't been great so far is David Hageman, who was the 5th rounder last year. He's got some pretty big stuff, but just had the Tommy John before the draft, and so he's kind of going to be up and down, I think. But he's with a full season affiliate.
Well, and you go down to the Arizona Complex League, where they're 27-22. They're in second place in their division down there. They are 5-5 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. So they're almost at 50 games down there.
Yeah,
for those kids that are just being drafted or first year pros.
Yeah, their season's about to be done. They start earlier now than the Dominican Summer League. So I think that really irritates. I think that irritates scouts and club officials in player development, because they want to have the opportunity to move some of these Dominican kids up if they're deserving. Braylon Morel is back. That's a good thing for the Rangers after a leg injury late last year, delayed him through spring training. He's back. And another interesting name is Duard Tovar. He's from Venezuela, outfielder, and he's kind of blossomed here. He hasn't played as many games or doesn't have as many at bats as like a Paulino Santana or a Clymer Lemos, but what he's done in 72 at bats, he's got a 1.005, 1,000.5 OPS. His power is kind of replaced Fitzgerald. Tovar has 4 home runs within those 72 at bats, so pretty good stuff from him, and doesn't strike out a ton. So that's a good sign for a young hitter, left-handed hitter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Going down to the Dominican. So we've got 2 teams down there. I'm having to pull this up last minute. I forgot to get the Dominican kids. The red team, the red team's in 3rd place in their division. They're 18-10. This is the team that we know got the better prospects. They're 6-4
Yeah.
in their last 10. They won one last night. Let's go ahead and just get the blue team. They're in last place in their division. They're 7-21,
All right.
4-6 in their last 10, and they've lost one. But hey, you know what? There's a lot of kids there. And doesn't matter what team you're on. If you need to go to the blue team to play a lot, that's how you can earn your way into a higher standing within this organization.
Yeah, and they have a couple guys who have probably earned the right to go to Arizona. And Marco Arguden, he's Cuban, defected and was signed in February for pretty affordable, I think about $40,000. He's batting .406. Elorki Rodriguez, who was the big signee of the international class in January, he's young. He's 17, and he's hitting the ball. He's hitting for power. He's getting on base. A pretty good looking player there. And would it be too soon to move him up? I don't think so. Because Yolfran Castillo got moved up from the Dominican League to the end of the Arizona Complex League last year. Castillo is there now. No power with Castillo in Arizona, but they're not worried about that. He's actually had a little bit better past couple of weeks, but there are a couple hitters on that red team in the Dominican that could end up in Arizona before too long, and I think if in a perfect world they would, and it just depends on the timing with the end of the Arizona season.
Sure. All right. Well, guys, it's been a long one. It's been a wrap. It's been a fun one and a funny one for sure. You're down in Houston. We're going to try to get Kip Fag hopefully before I head out of town next week and try to get him on. We won't do anything after that, but anything else?
I don't think so. Fun show. It was a long one. I hope you guys made it to the end.
Yeah. Guys, it's fun. We appreciate it. For Josh Sneed and Jeff Wilson, I'm John Moore. Until next week, possibly, guys, we'll see you at the yard.